Welcome back to Occult, Symbolism, and Pop Culture. I'm your host, Isaac Weishaupt. Today we're doing a TMZ pop culture occult symbolism deep dive. We're going to talk about conspiratorial angles behind the top headlining celebrities, all right? We're going to focus in on sex abuse in Hollywood and fashion industries. I'm talking Bella Thorne. I'm talking Jeff Goldblum. I know, sorry ladies. Goldblum's getting all the smoke. Simpsons, Balenciaga, Rihanna. Then we're going to talk about this murderer from the Idaho murderer. I don't know, have they got a name for him yet? The sorority slasher. I don't know, what's the name for this guy? Well, we're going to talk about the Idaho murders and some predictive programming, maybe. We're going to talk about Jeffree Star. He's been saying Illuminati confirmed. And we're going to wrap it up for good measure and talk about Andrew Tate. We're going to talk about him in general. We're going to do a little Bible thumping today, folks. Something I don't typically do. I'm feeling the Holy Spirit today, though. All right. Every now and then it happens. Every now and then the Holy Spirit touches Isaac Weishaupt, the degenerate podcaster. So yeah, you're going to hear a little bit of that. Let's start, right? Legal drama galore happening. We're not going to talk about these subjects, but if you listened to my recent episode, we talked about Tory Lanez, the rapper, found guilty. How dare he shoot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot? How dare he? And here's the thing. I actually like Tory Lanez as a rapper, so that's kind of a bummer. We're losing all the rappers. They're getting arrested. They're getting killed. I mean, it's unreal. But I actually like Meg Thee Stallion better, so if I have to choose one, I'm actually happy we get to keep Meg Thee Stallion. But he's getting sentenced at the end of January. Let's see what happens. Back in my home turf here, I currently live in Utah, right? My two homes are going to make an appearance today, Utah and PA, all right? Jen Shah from Real Housewives, she's getting sentenced January 6th. I'm recording this on January 5th, folks. Thursday, January 5th. So whatever you hear is a snapshot in time because surely things will happen. By the time this gets on the free feed, things may have changed. But Jen Shah is getting sentenced tomorrow. I watched The Housewives of Salt Lake. Me and Josie, don't miss an episode. I've watched every single one. Then YSL, which is Young Thug's label / gang, whatever. That trial is going to, I think, start happening soon. It's a mess. A lot of people took plea deals. They're saying, like Gunna, they're saying they're basically snitching on Young Thug, saying it is a gang. YFN Lucci, another rapper, who I think is part of a different group called YFN. Don't quote me on that. People are saying that YFN Lucci is going to testify as well. It's not looking good for Young Thug. Long story short, not looking good for your boy. Which is a bummer. I like Young Thug too, as a rapper, okay? He makes an appearance in my hip-hop book. So, anyway. But no, we're not talking about that stuff today. Today, let's start out with Bella Thorne. You know Bella Thorne, Disney star. These Disney stars, they oftentimes grow up and lose their damn minds, right? And it's because they're children working around this adult industry. And it's very easily argued that it's because they're surrounded by a bunch of perverts and pedophiles. Let's go to page6.com. Bella Thorne bashed a director who accused her of flirting with him and making him really uncomfortable after an audition at 10 years old. The actress told Emily Ratajkowski, the model that was in the Robin Thicke video, which also, I believe, is dating Pete Davidson right now. Can't stop Pete Davidson. Well, this Bella Thorne told Emily Ratajkowski in Tuesday, I'm probably mispronouncing her name, sorry. Not a huge fan. Like I don't know these people. In Tuesday's episode of the High Low podcast that she still goes back to that interaction every day, saying it drives her crazy. Thorne explained, I am trying to find almost fault in myself. Like, what did you do, Bella? What did you do? You made him feel like this. The former Disney star subsequently reminded herself that she was not the problem at age 10. I don't give a F what the F I said. I don't care if I said eat my pee right now. I was 10 years old. Why ever would you think that I was flirting? Also, you're in a director session. You can't really say or do anything. You do the scene, you say hello, and you walk out. There's no time to go sit on your lap or make you uncomfortable. Radikowski, 31, told the Shake It Up alum to forgive herself because she was an effing kid, noting that she hopes the director, whom Thorne did not identify, rots in hell. The model added, if you need a more effed up story of Hollywood and pedophilia and the sexualization of children, I don't think there is one. Radikowski also shared her story of an inappropriate exchange with her agent as a 16-year-old. They pointed to my picture, and I was with my friend who was also modeling at the time with the same agency, and they were like, this face, this is how we know this girl gets effed. You've got to give a lesson, Emily, on this, the Gone Girl star recalled. I recall being flattered and also obviously so embarrassed and horrified, and now, of course, looking back, that is so effed up that they said that. Radikowski, who initially wrote about her conversation in her 2021 book, My Body, called her and Thorne's experiences the reality of being a young woman in the industry. So, just a little bit more fodder for this theory that Hollywood is full of perverts, right? Which isn't shocking to anybody. And I would argue that actually you would find perverts in almost any industry. The only reason that, one reason that these stories seem to be prolific or acknowledged is because these are famous people, right? Celebrities. I would argue that if you interviewed people in your office and there was this whole tabloid around office people, that they also would be revealing some horrific things. But, Hollywood kind of takes the cake. They, there's that movie Babylon. I haven't seen it yet. But it's based on this idea of the golden age of Hollywood back in the day where some horrific things happen. And you can read about those in Kenneth Anger's book, Hollywood Babylon, where he goes into all these, golden age Hollywood starlets and some abuse. It's a lot of people I don't even really know who they are. I mean, Judy Garland's in there. That's in my Wizard of Oz analysis that you'll hear someday. And I remember one story was about Fatty Arbuckle, and that dude was a monster. Ugh. Man, you read this stuff, and you'll be like, dude, these people are possessed by the devil, right? So, yeah, moving on. So, Bella Thorne, Disney. And I think she does she do porn now? Or she has an OnlyFans or something like that? Anyway. The path of the Disney child stars is rarely good. Simpsons, always a popular topic, right? And shout out to Rachel, hooked me up with this one. Balenciaga. The Simpsons did a collab with Balenciaga 2 years ago now, 2021. And what they did was they made a short 10-minute film to highlight Balenciaga clothing. And I watched it. You can find it on YouTube. And the story basically, Homer needs to buy Marge something for her birthday. But he wants to get her some nice Balenciaga clothing. So he sends an email. He's like, hey, can you send me your cheapest thing? They mail it to him. And what's weird is if you listen to it, he says, every birthday my wife gets very sad because she's further from her dreams and closer to her death. Which I didn't think was funny at all. I thought that was sad and tragic. But yeah, that's what he said in the show. So they mail a dress to the Simpsons house. She opens it up and she wears it. And you'll notice, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it kind of has a Baphomet quality to it, like two horns coming out of her shoulder. I will post an image on my Instagram for you. But it kind of has a Baphomet quality to it, all right? But that's not the main crux of what we're talking about here. Homer, he's upset because he didn't realize how expensive it was, so he's trying to keep this dress clean because he wants to mail it back after her birthday. And then Demna I don't know how to say his name, Vasalia, the creative director of Balenciaga, who was buddies with Kanye West. Remember, we did many shows on Kanye West. We did many shows on Balenciaga. These two are besties. I find it very questionable to believe in Kanye West. Maybe though, right? Maybe he's the conspiracy savior. It's going to expose the whole thing. I don't know. But Demna is in this cartoon. See my Balenciaga shows. I've done several now. But he flies out to Springfield and he's like, "Oh, this town is deprived of all style." And he decides to fly several people from Springfield to Paris for Fashion Week, all right? And the characters, they all walk down the runway with different garb, Balenciaga garb. Waylon Smithers, for instance, he's wearing a red dress, little gender-bending stuff going on there. But not that there's a problem with that. Not that there's a problem with that. But Bart, this is the thing that was on the video I was sent. This is the highlight of why it's significant. Bart Simpson he walks down the runway and he moons the audience. And the audience, they're like, "Hey, you think you're offending us? This is France." And then they all stand up and they moon him back. Now, you could argue that this is just a silly, crude joke. I mean, Bart Simpson's kind of known for being a prankster, so mooning isn't out of the question for him. But it is interesting that this exact thing would happen. Because Bart Simpson, he's supposed to be like 10 years old. He's in 4th grade. So, I mean, you want to get technical about it, it's pretty inappropriate. I mean, it's almost, it's a cartoon, but, I don't want to see a 10-year-old's butt, right? But and it's just a cartoon. I don't know, right? I get kind of torn between the two things and like, how conspiratorial is this? But it's worth talking about because it is Balenciaga. And they have this whole thing with the kids, right? Now, did I post that? If not, I'll find a way to share it on my socials. On a related side note, I posted a video on my socials of Jeff Goldblum.
While acting, have I ever had, some challenge of what to do with my hands? And similarly, even in life, is there something in acting that makes me feel comforted or that solves that problem, or in life that gives me some comfort?
He is in a newer Prada video that is weird beyond belief. You wouldn't believe it. They juxtapose Jeff Goldblum, famous actor, right? Jurassic Park, Independence Day, The Fly. You know who he is. They juxtapose him next to a big stuffed teddy bear, which we already talked about the teddy bear as the pedo symbol. Now, just because you see a teddy bear doesn't necessarily mean, it's for sure pedo land, right? Let's try to keep rational about things. But given all the fashion conspiracies and the kids stuff and the pedo bear, just like an Eyes Wide Shut, we talked about that. It automatically is like, okay, what are we watching here? What's going on? And it's bizarre because they play a sound and it's like a ratcheting, and you can't help but think of someone mentioned that it sounds like it's a torture rack ratcheting up like a chain. And that's all I hear now that I see it. But Jeff Goldblum goes into this monologue about how, I never know what to do with my hands. And the camera zooms in, and he does know what to do with his hands. And you'll never guess what he does. He does the 666 hand. That's right, the womb of the Illuminati. The 3 overlapping sixes. He does it. He says, you never know what to do with your hands. And then he does that. So it's almost like he's saying, yeah, when I do these photo shoots, I never know what to do with my hands. But then the director of the shoot will tell me to do this. That's kind of how I interpret it. But whatever, right? Some say it's the all-seeing eye. Could be a bunch of stuff. Now, if Jeff Goldblum is Illuminate confirmed, I'm sure that's very hard to digest, folks. I know, it's like Tom Hanks all over again. We don't want to believe this, do we? Especially the ladies out there. But hey, maybe he's not into kids. He's a married man, right? Well, don't look too deep into that. Because turns out he's married to a Russian contortionist who's 30 years younger than him. Whoa, 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 whoa. He was born in 1952. She was born in 1983. Okay. But I did a little digging because I'm a hater. You know what I mean? I'm a hater. Now, there's 2 different versions of what happened, how they met. I'm going to give you the scandalous version first. On HelloMagazine.com, there's a 2014 article. It says, because they got married, right? So Jeff Goldblum is married to Emily Livingston. But this article from 2014 says, Jeff and Emily have been dating since 2001. Okay. Now, if you do the math on that, Jeff Goldblum was 49. We'll call it 50 for good measure. And Emily was 18. I'm just saying. Now, to be fair, because I'm not here to spread gossip, I mean, it is the TMZ pop culture show today, but on page 6, they claim that these two began dating in 2011, which, to be fair, actually makes more sense because you can find a layout of his dating history, a timeline, and in the 2000s, he dated several chicks, supposedly, Nicole Richie, Tanya Raymond. So I'm actually more apt to believe that he started dating Emily in 2011 than 2001. Fine. I mean, either way, there's a 30-year gap here. So when she was 18, he was 49. Like, process that for a bit, right? But like I always say, because, look, I like to defend my boy Leo. Over on Breaking Social Norms, me and Josie argue about this all the time. Because she's like, these guys are disgusting. What's wrong with them? Why they got to date these young girls? They can't possibly have anything in common with them. Or mentally, they're just so immature that they really do sync up with 18-year-old girls. And I'm always in the camp, because I'm Mr. Anti-cancel culture. I say, look, as long as they're adults, as long as they're consenting adults, who cares? It's Jeff Goldblum. He's a good-looking, famous dude. It's Leo DiCaprio. He's a good-looking, famous dude. They've built up their net worth. They've built up their value. And that's enticing to women, right? And, I don't know. Is it lust? Is it love? Is it both? Who are we to judge? Who are we to get in the middle of this? Now, it does raise eyebrows. I mean, come on, bro. Anyhow. Moving on. Rihanna. We know that she's going to perform at the Super Bowl. Well, page 6, and granted, I'm late on this one. This was buried in my 2022 notes, but let's bring it up. And it's not too crazy, but astrology, right? Where all occult practices stem from. I'm going to read you from page 6. It says, among her layers of gold necklaces and rings, the bad gal wore a gold cuff bracelet from Brioni Raymond, studded with diamonds and stamped with her own zodiac sign and that of boyfriend A$AP Rocky. On one end, the Pisces fish represents Rihanna. On the other, two scales show Rocky's Libra side. Now, is this a problem? Is this Illuminate confirm? I mean, astrology is so commonplace nowadays. But my Christian warriors out there would advise against it. And if you want to really split hairs, all of these occult practices stem from astrology. The Babylonian stargazers practicing watching the movements of the stars, believing that man could somehow be connected out to the cosmos through ritual magic, could do a little dance to create manifest realities. But yeah, Rihanna, she's still dating A$AP Rocky. They got a second baby on the way. I don't know. So does that mean she's going to perform pregnant at the Super Bowl? I don't know. They haven't revealed the name of their first son yet, which also is a magical concept, right? In terms of magic, you take on a magical name. And that magical name you use to protect your real name, because your real name can be used against you in a way, like an energetic way in terms of magic. Now, I don't think that's what they're doing, but I mean, maybe. I don't know. She's into astrology, apparently. Idaho. Let's talk Idaho. This Brian Kornberger guy, he's being accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students, stabbing them to death in their sleep on November 13th. Now, to be fair, I have not followed this case that closely. I've seen it a million times in the headlines. I was like, what's going on in Idaho? Are these people missing? Are they dead? What happened? But apparently they were all stabbed in their sleep. Happened in Moscow, Idaho, right? The media rarely clarifies it. They're like, suspect deported to Moscow, and they flash Moscow everywhere. And it always makes me think of Russia. And I'm like, bro, what's Russia got to do with this? But it's like, no, Moscow and Idaho. Like, just say Idaho. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to grab your attention with the headline. Moscow, Idaho. Oh no, we all know it's Moscow. Of course, it's like New York City, New York. No one knows there's a Moscow in Idaho. I'm sorry, Idahoans. And look, I live in Utah, so there's a lot of rivalry between me and the Idahoans. But yeah, Moscow, Idaho. Where is it? No one cares. No one cares. Sorry, my throat's all screwed up from talking trash. So I got to pause to take a drink here and there. So they arrest this guy named Brian Kornberger. It's Koberger, but I like to say Kornberger. And he was in my hometown, Scranton, PA. Close. I live near Scranton, PA. He was out in the Poconos, hiding out in the Poconos. Nothing good happens in the Poconos. You know what I mean? There's actually, there's a really good, Jimmy the Jackhammer and I one time went to a great sandwich shop out near the Poconos. I would pull it up. If you're interested, hit me up on the socials. I'll find it on my Yelp. So anyway, they arrested this guy, Brian Kornberger, in Scranton, PA. He was out there apparently visiting family. They found his DNA at the murder scene. They were looking for his white Hyundai Elantra. Surprised that thing made it across the country. He was speeding by a gas station near this house, apparently. They caught it on camera. And he is a PhD student at Washington State University, which is 9 miles west of Moscow, Idaho. He was studying criminal justice and criminology. Lots of weird stuff happening here. Now, I'm trying to think of, on the fly here, do you recall the guy who, what's his name, James Holmes, the guy who shot up the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado? He also was a PhD student, if you recall, at University of Colorado. Now, what was his PhD in? I'm looking it up. I can't find it. It's fine. Gosh, I just wondered, like, what if this is... No, it's in neuroscience. Okay. All right. His was in neuroscience. What's up with these nerds, right? These smart nerds. And look, I can say it because I'm a nerd too, all right? I've gone to grad school. I'm a total nerd, so I get to make fun of nerds. So anyway, then the dude, his photos, he's got that glossed over MK Ultra look, just like James Holmes and Adam Lanza from the S Hook thing. They all got that same like walked out look, like they've been on the internet too long. They've been in 4chan in the comment section of the incel Reddit or whatever they do. Which is really bizarre, right? And now listen to this. Fox News reported that a source inside the Monroe County Correctional Facility told News Nation that the accused mass murderer was asked why he killed 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. He shot back allegedly, "I didn't do anything." When he was asked why he had been in Moscow, an 8-mile drive from his apartment in Pullman, Washington. See, they did it right there. When they asked him why he had been in Moscow. Okay. An 8-mile drive from his apartment in Pullman, Washington, he allegedly retorted, "The shopping is better in Idaho." Oh, so he's got jokes. Got jokes. Now, Fox News also reported that he was bullied back in high school for being overweight. They got a photo of him doing push-ups. I guess he wanted to be an Army Ranger. I guess that didn't pan out. And the court affidavit shows something about how there's a knife sheath at the place from the scene that has his DNA on it and has USMC written on it, like stamped on it. Marine Corps, right? So, I don't know. Was the guy playing too much Call of Duty? You know? I don't know. The fact that he was bullied in high school, and look, this is the reason why we can't do bullying, right? Bullying is not good. It causes a lot of problems. I mean, not only for society, but for the people themselves, right? I did a show on Jeffree Dahmer, and in a way, I kind of felt bad for Jeffree Dahmer in a way. He didn't even understand why he was such a psychopath. And it, of course, reported that old Cornberger here was driving past this house a bunch of times, scoping it out at weird times, apparently. And how much you want to bet this guy's an incel? How much you want to bet? Let's put a cash bet down. No, I'm just kidding. Can't bet. You can't gamble. That's illegal. But I'm going to guess this guy has some kind of incel, Call of Duty, 4chan background, right? No offense to 4chan. Look, if you're a 4chaner and you listen to the show, you're ready. You know what I'm talking about, right? Some seedy folks in there. Sometimes I get on there and it's kind of funny, but like some people take it too far. You know what I mean? Like they say, and a lot of it, they say a lot of horrendous stuff just to sort of get under your skin and troll. And that's fine from a humor perspective, I think, because I actually do think some of that's funny. Where it's not funny is that some people are mentally ill, right? And they don't know how to stop. Now, who cares? Why are we talking about Cornberger in Idaho? Well, TMZ says that it could be related to a film. And that's why I'm talking to you about it. Let me read to you from TMZ. It says, Brian Cornberger is accused of committing a murder that has markings of a horror movie, a movie in which his own sister starred. Amanda Cornberger has a single movie credit, quote, 2 Days Back, shot in 2011. The premise, a group of students who are viciously stabbed to death with knives and other weapons. The group of environmentally conscious students take a hike in the woods. Their mission is to catch people who are illegally foresting. The murderer befriends the group of students, then begins the massacre. The director, Kevin Boone, was shocked when he learned of the connection between Amanda and her brother. You're effing kidding me. Her brother is that guy? Boone told the New York Post. He had very kind words for Amanda, saying she was a lovely woman who was very nice. I liked her a lot. Now, why do we care? Well, it kind of fits into this idea, first, that entertainment has an influence on reality. And from an occult perspective, from Rihanna's astrology perspective, As above, so below. The Hermetic axiom. That's what Thoth was trying to get across to the ancient mystery schools. So it's written in the Emerald Tablets. This as above, so below, law of correspondence. Now, I know I have no proof for any of this, but that's why the show used to be called Conspiracy Theories and Unpopular Culture. These are theories about the nature of reality, which is way weirder than anybody wants to believe. And I believe predictive programming could have an effect. I think that in a way, images on film, thoughts devoted to these things could mess around with the fabric of reality and the cosmos and maybe have an influence on us. I talked about this in the Alien books, right? That was my attempt at contributing something to the alien topic. Aliens, UFOs, and the occult. I talked about it in 2 books. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. And in Use Your Illusion 2 is where we went through different films talking about the occult symbolism within them and how that could fit into all this, right? So maybe there's something to do here. Interesting case. We'll see what's going on with all this. But like I said, I think I'm going to guess, using my powers of being a snarky jerk, that this guy was some kind of incel 4chan guy. Because, I mean, he killed these women. They were beautiful women. And he was apparently obsessed with that house. I mean, this is like, what was that, Santa Barbara? That guy was shooting up. He was an incel, and he was kind of a good-looking guy, too. But these guys just don't get socialized right. Or it's the environment, the toxic environment we live in, that we allow corporations to pollute everything, and it's in the food with the GMOs. Then you have a very unhealthy mental health state in our country. But yeah, that Santa Barbara shooter, remember his dad some kind of director for the Hunger Games, which again ties us into the SHOOK films, because Suzanne Collins, who wrote the Hunger Games, lived in that same town where the shook things happened. You know what I'm saying? She wrote books about kids killing kids. And then that tragedy happened there. Moving on, Jeffree Star. He's claiming Illuminati confirm. Who's Jeffree Star? Why do you care? Why do we care? He was a very famous YouTuber. He's still very famous, but a famous YouTuber. He started out back in the MySpace days. He was doing music and makeup. And he gave up. I had to do a little bio research on the guy. I knew who he was, but I had no idea what he was about. Apparently he was into music, something he gave up abruptly. He had a very successful electronic album. He had a song with Nicki Minaj on it. He was signed to Akon's Convict music label. He was touted as the next Lady Gaga. He left music entirely, though, after signing to Akon's label, and called it, quote, the biggest mistake I've ever made. And that'll make more sense when we hear about the tweets that he was tweeting recently. But let's go through a little bit more of his background. On Wikipedia, it says, in 2010, Star called Blood on the Dance Floor member Davi Vanity, who was arrested in 2009 on sexual assault charges, a child effer. Tweeting that he saw that guy, quote, bring underage girls to his hotel room, 100% illegal. Now, Blood on the Dance Floor is apparently a band. I don't know, rock music. I have no idea. Star had said he had witnessed Vanity's actions in 2012. And he would later retract this, claiming it was just hearsay. But what's weird is Jeffree Star, I believe he got kicked off of YouTube, joined the club, and he moved to Wyoming in 2020 because of Hollywood's, quote, weird atmosphere. He created a makeup line, incredibly rich from that, right? He damn near died last year. Well, 2 years ago, 2021, he flipped his Rolls Royce 3 times in Wyoming due to black ice. Broke his back in a bunch of places, apparently. So anyway, he's living in Wyoming right now, apparently. People reached out to me because I retweeted his tweets, and they were like, hey, I've met the guy. He seems like a really nice dude. I'm sure he is. These were the tweets. He tweeted this. What a crazy effing year. I escaped the Illuminati in 2021, and they still haven't killed me. Every day I wake up grateful. Which makes me think about the car accident thing. Anyway. He said, in 2020, I was going to expose everything. In a matter of days, the Hollywood elite tried to ruin my entire career, villainize me, and flooded the news with lies to discredit me. If you guys only knew the truth about what they are doing to Britney and Kanye. Oh, my goodness. A can of worms, if you will. And if you go to Dexerto.com, they said at the beginning of 2021, there were rumors that Jeffree Star and Kanye West were romantically linked following West's divorce from Kim Kardashian. That's right. Gay lovers. Kanye West, maybe. In January 21, Star admitted on the BFFs podcast that he played into it because it was so ridiculous. He also clarified he would never be into Kanye. He's too short for me. I'm not into that. Hey. Kanye West is probably tall enough. How tall is Kanye West? Sorry. I usually 5'8". That's plenty tall. I mean, that's Tom Cruise tall, right? But he says that anyone who challenges the system gets eliminated. And then his last tweet we'll talk about, he says, I still have a soul. Can't say that about a lot of these demons I used to surround myself with. So clearly there's a story here. I don't know what the story is. I actually tried to message him. I'm not famous enough for Jeffree Star. He moved to Wyoming. Like I said, he escaped Hollywood because he didn't like what was going on out there. He was apparently canceled for he had some website called Lipstick Nazi with some swastika artwork on it. I don't know these guys are just so fascinated by Nazis. I don't know what the deal is. They can't resist. He was also in trouble for allegedly sexually abusing people, tasing homeless people, all kinds of stuff. Now, are these things blackmail? He said the Illuminati tried to get him. They tried to lie about him. More to come on this. Stay tuned, right? It's a very interesting story. Andrew Tate got arrested. Last story, but it's a big one. Andrew Tate was in the middle of he got allowed back on Twitter. Got into a spat with Greta Thunberg, the environmental warrior chick from, I don't know, Sweden, whatever. And they went back and forth. Andrew Tate released a video that had a pizza box on it that allegedly is what they used to triangulate his location. And that's how they arrested him. Now, it's interesting because we've got this huge event. The symbolism surrounding pizza should not go without being stated because the allegations are that he was into human trafficking and sex abuse, which would fit in nicely with the Pizzagate emails, right? Let's go to Media Takeout for information on the arrest, right? Because you kind of know what the arrest is about. The Romanian, he's in Romania. Sorry, if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, let me back up. Andrew Tate is one of these, male improvement guys, alpha male bro dudes who's like, hey, be the alpha male in all that you do, and be traditional styles of relationships. Women should be in the kitchen making sandwiches kind of guy. Said a lot of gross things. Now, to be fair to him, I've seen a lot of video clips where I was like, I kind of like what he has to say here. Not about women and stuff like that, but different ideas, right? So he's not all bad, right? Some of his stuff I actually watched, and I'm like, that's actually a pretty good take. But he said enough gross things that I ultimately reject Andrew Tate. But it's fine, right? I'm anti-cancel culture. Now, if you're into human trafficking, though, and abusing women, you got to go. You got to go. I know. Big stance here. Hot take from Isaac, right? So he gets arrested. And here's what's interesting. If you go to Media Takeout, which is a shady tabloidy website. Lots of people say, hey, man, you can't take anything they have to say seriously. But hey, you know what? You're listening to this podcast, so you're in for the crazy stuff. So let's go. Media Takeout spoke with a person extremely close to Andrew last week. It's in all caps. Before the social media star was arrested. And that person had some very interesting information. According to Andrew's friend, Andrew has secrets that he could expose about rich and powerful men from around the world. And he planned on using those secrets as leverage if he ever got into trouble. Media Takeout spoke exclusively to Andrew's close friend off the record, and we asked him whether Andrew was worried that people could come after him now that he was gaining popularity on the internet. The friend explained to Media Takeout exclusively, Andrew knows things about powerful people. If push came to shove, he'd use that information to get himself out of any trouble. Andrew Tate is being investigated for allegedly running an international human trafficking operation. In other words, they are calling him an international pimp. Romanian authorities say that they are investigating claims that Andrew and his brother allegedly lured beautiful women into Romania, where they coerced the women to become sex workers who service rich and powerful men. Now, you're smart enough to know who we're going to compare that to. None other than Jeffrey Epstein. All right? It sounds like something straight out of the Epstein book. He's sexually trafficking women, and he's got secrets on these rich and powerful men that probably has videos of them doing stuff with these girls or something. Who knows, right? But that's the claim. Now, Andrew Tate did say that they were going to come after him. He knew this was going to come. The question is, did he know it was going to come because A, he's doing it, or B, it's a setup, or C, a little bit of both? Now the question is he going to get Epsteined? I mean, I don't know. Another bizarre news story we're going to stay plugged into. Now, before this, he was tweeting different conspiracy theories, appealing to the truther crowd. He said, the Matrix sent their agents. No, this is after he got arrested, sorry. The Matrix sent their agents. God is on our side, so the Matrix will not win. You are inside a reality which is false and controlled by the people behind the media machine, the people who are in charge of the world. Now, again, big question. Is he really trafficking women? And he's using the conspiracy crowd because the conspiracy crowd is pretty much going to go against whatever the media says. So if Tate's like, hey, man, I'm into conspiracies and you should listen to me. Is it just another psyop? He's trying to garner support from people who would actually hear him out. Effectively using and dirtying up the conspiracy theory world. We've seen it happen before. It's probably happening again. Now, what's interesting is that when they arrested him, he did a weird hand symbol in the back of the car. There's a video you can see where he does this. He has his hands in cuffs, and he sort of makes a triangle with interlocking fingers. Now, you could argue that, well, he's got his handcuffs. What do you want him to do with his hands? But he stares into the camera. He does it on purpose. And I'll try to, let me make a note. I'll put it on the Instagram too. And you can take a look-ski for yourself. But turns out he actually does this often. You can see many images of him doing it. So that led me to dig further. Well, what does this mean? Does he have a reason why he's taking photos of him posing like this? And if you go to the Daily Star, another shady tabloid site, says the hand signal is actually the Uttara Bodhi Mudra, a yogic position representing enlightenment. Uterus Bodhi is a Sanskrit word comprised of two words. Utara meaning upwards and Bodhi meaning towards awakening. Hence, it coincides aptly with Tate's conspiratorial mantra of escaping the Matrix. Tate previously explained that he learned Uterus Bodhi Mudra from his father, Emery Tate, an international master in chess. He added, the reason I do it is because when your brain is as advanced as mine, you have to complete the circuit. Oh, okay. Good to know. I am full of electricity, my blood is on fire, and by completing the circuit... Oh, cut off there. Try the hand symbol, combine and complete the circuit of your body, make the electrons flow. I do it because it increases my power. It's like a power up. Tate continues to channel this attitude, tweeting Tuesday, January 3rd, quote, "You possess unlimited power, harness it, become unstoppable." Oh dear, so much to unpack here. So, is this bad? Is this hand gesture bad? Because it's not quite a triangle, it's similar. Well, I can't tell you if it's bad, but I can tell you that it is part of the occult, esoteric, magical concept of channeling energy, arguably towards the will of the practitioner. This is like the magician. You could divide it up into white magic or black magic, right? One is considered good, one is considered bad. White magic is when you're trying to create a better world. Black magic is when you're trying to make the world better for you by taking power from someone else. And if you listen to most of what he says, he's kind of more interested in the latter. Now, from a Christian perspective, not advisable, right? Because yoga means to yoke. It traditionally meant to make a union with a deity. So it's no different than channeling and stuff. But this gets tricky for me. We're gonna hit this here soon. I'll come back to that. And what's weird, because I don't know a lot about Andrew Tate. I look it up and I'm like, what's his religion? And allegedly he was Orthodox Christian, which is my flavor, right? And they say, oh, he donates large sums of money to the Romanian Orthodox Church. But according to tribune.com.pk, he converted to Muslim in October. From his Getter account, he says, "This is why I'm Muslim. Any Christians who believe in good and understand the true battle against evil must convert. So be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth." Quran 30:60. So apparently he's Muslim now. I don't know. But there are pictures of him inside of a mosque. So, I mean, it's very believable. It came from his own account. Now, I don't know. Should we wrap this up? Let's talk a little bit about the occult and from an Orthodox Christian perspective, right? If you go to Orthodox Times, they got a short piece on the occult. It says, "Wizards and demons, however, because they are obsessed and do not have the illumination of God, cannot know anything hidden, nor what is to happen to every human being." And it talks about God actually was mocking. See, even God's a little snarky sometimes. If you go to the Old Testament, God mocked these Babylonian occult practices. He said, "Let your astrologers come forward. Let them save you from what is coming upon you." Ooh, shots fired. That was in Isaiah 47:13. Now, if you want my opinion on Tate, I've seen enough videos. Like I said, some of them are motivational, and he's not all bad. He's dropping knowledge. But then I've seen him being abusive towards women. Literally, I saw a video of him like smacking a chick around. Now, to be fair, these chicks, they come out and defend him. They say, hey, you know what? I wanted that. And again, two adults, consenting adults, do whatever you want in your bedroom, But also, if you're into human trafficking, mind control, like maybe these girls are mind controlled into saying this stuff. And I looked up some of his more controversial statements because again, not a huge follower. I don't know all the ins and outs of what this guy believes. He was in Romania allegedly because he's trying to break the law. He said, "I like Eastern Europe as a whole because corruption is far more accessible." He enjoys being able to buy off cops and other law enforcement officials so that they do not infringe on his business operations and personal habits. So is the guy trafficking people? Probably. You can't be responsible for something that doesn't listen to you. You can't be responsible for a dog if it doesn't obey you, or a child if it doesn't obey you, or a woman that doesn't obey you. On a podcast, Fresh and Fit, I guess it says it's a Manosphere podcast, the host asked Tate how he began his business career after his fighting career came to an end. He began by doing research into money, banks, and the financial system more generally. Sounds like Epstein. Then he began to make a list of his assets: a car, an apartment in London, $10,000 in the bank, and his girlfriends. So he's saying that his girlfriends are assets that he owns. During his career as a fighter, he had begun relationships with women in countries all over the world, and he saw his girlfriends as monetary assets he could exploit, just like his savings. Quote, I could open up a strip club, but that takes money and I need overhead. I need money. How can I use these women to make me money? And that's what got him into the webcam industry, which it says here is where he really began to build his personal wealth. This is on a website called en.as.com, the 5 most controversial things said by Andrew Tate. Quote, at the height of my webcam pimpin', I think I am the king of the world. The problem is the first 2 girls worked for me because they loved me, but once you get bigger, you start hiring girls who don't love you. They're in it for the money. And look, these webcams, it's a unsavory business. And given his attitude towards women as property and statements he made, I mean, I have a hard time defending the guy. A lot of people want to believe in this guy. I don't get it. So it's not shocking to me he's being accused of this stuff. But, you know, we got to go to trial. Ultimately, if the dude really is into... But look, I don't trust the justice system either, to be fair. But, I mean, he's making a lot of statements that it's like, bro... You know, if he's really doing the human trafficking and the raping, like, lock his ass up, right? Now, in conclusion, let's readdress some things we talked about with Tate. He's talking about simulation theory with all this talk about the Matrix. Now, that's a Gnostic idea. Far from Christianity. Far from Orthodox Christianity. And he brags about wealth. I think there's like a joke people make, like, what color is your Bugatti? Meaning, like, if I'm criticizing Andrew Tate, one of his Tate bros would say, what color is your Bugatti? And I would say, I don't have a Bugatti. And the idea being presented is that, well, Andrew Tate's a winner. He's got one. You're a loser. These are ideas that are also very much not Christian. I'm going to throw in the prosperity gospel, folks, the Joel Osteens and all these, like, mega churches, right? In fact, almost a sign from God himself, my church bulletin sent to me about Anthony the Great, because his feast day is coming up January 17th. I'm going to read to you from this. Anthony the Great, okay. Upon hearing the words of the gospel said, if thou will be perfect, go and sell what thou hast and give it to the poor. This guy here, right? So Tate is talking about how he's this big bad man. And look, Tate, if thou thinkest thou is perfect, sell thou Bugatti and give it to the poor. And that's what this guy did. St. Anthony did that. He sold everything he had, distributed it to the poor, stayed hiding out in the desert like a monk. And that's why that's why he's a saint. That's why we celebrate his feast day on January 17th. Now, look, you know, you ask me, I'd have a hard time with that. And there's a lot of other realizations. Like, there's a lot of drug abuse. Like, I know I can't advocate for, like, hey, just, you know, drain your savings account and go downtown to the homeless place and start handing money out. I mean, a lot of people are just doing drugs, right? And when you get, you know, if you have addiction in your family, you know this, that it's kind of like you got to kind of find the strength to sort of force them into having a rock bottom. It's one theory of how to handle this, you know? You kick them out of the house eventually. So you look at all these homeless people and you got to know that you're kind of enabling the drug abuse sometimes. But look, that's not a conversation we're having today. You know, I have a lot of sympathy for homeless folks. You'd be surprised at how many working people are in those homeless shelters. Like, it's unreal. But we're not going to talk about that. I'm just saying the idea that Andrew Tate is trying to, you know, he's obviously not Christian is all I'm trying to say. Because the messaging he's giving is not Christian at all. And then he's doing this hand symbol. And that's a conundrum for me, right? Because, and it goes into this yoga argument. Because I always say, like, look, if you're doing yoga to stretch out, go for it. You know what I mean? First off, don't look to me for your religious salvation. You should talk to your spiritual fathers or whatever. And in fact, that hand symbol, I'm going to read you from a yoga website. It says, practicing uterus bodhi mudra is a great way to calm the excited mind or soothe the nerves before starting any seemingly overwhelming task. It is believed that the uterus bodhi mudra is great for improving self-confidence and realizing the inner self. It removes fear. It teaches one to not worry about anything but God. So Tate says he's using this to gain power. But the Christian path would be to pray about it. It would be to ask God what God's will is and to show you the right path, which, to be fair, sometimes that's very difficult, right? Sometimes I wonder, like, man, am I schizophrenic? How am I supposed to know this? But if God's will is for you to have power, he will give it to you. That's the idea. And I'm okay with the idea of calming the excited mind. Even the Bible tells you multiple times not to be anxious. And the same thing goes for Andrew Tate, right? Look, if they let him out of prison, if they keep him in prison, these are problems that the higher power will answer one day, right? A lot of people get upset about Casey Anthony being out and about because it seems like maybe she killed that baby, which is pretty horrific. But I would never advocate like, hey, go harass this lady. Because first off, like, she's apparently innocent. But second, even if you don't believe she's innocent, it's like there's a higher power that's going to judge her someday. You got to worry about what's going on right in front of you, in a way, sometimes. The Bible tells you not to be anxious. Don't be all upset. Andrew Tate, you should let him out. Andrew Tate, he's innocent. I don't know, man. Or, I mean, he gets let out and you're a social justice warrior. If he gets out, so be it. God will take care of that in the end. So there you go. First show of the year. We're already Bible thumping. Can you believe it? So there you go. That's the show. Hope you enjoyed it. You always know where to go to find me on the socials. You always know where to go to find me if you want the ad-free version of the show and you want to support it. And speaking of which, the VIP section, the supporter platform I run, you can currently get in there, do a 2-week free trial with no credit card needed. I'm actually removing that credit card thing. Soon you're going to need to punch in a credit card to do the free trial. So take advantage of that while you can. And support the show. Go ad-free. Unlock 160 bonus episodes. Tons of bonus shows. Unbelievable. You get free books. I mean, you're getting all the great things in life. And it's only $5 for tier 1. Which, with inflation, because I started this in 15 or something, 16 on Patreon. At $5 with inflation is only like, it's like a half a cup of coffee now. So check it out. Thank you for listening to the show. Till next time, stay woke.